Hi guys, and welcome back to the Analogue Wonderland YouTube channel. I'm here today with some very special guests for our June WonderBox photo competition. So we have the front lads, Jamie and Luke.
Hello.
Hey. Hi guys, how are you both doing?
Best day ever, very excited to be here. I feel like this has been a long time in the making, isn't it?
Yeah, we've had this in the diary a while, so I'm glad we're finally making it happen.
Strange times and busy times.
Yeah, so the guys were going to come to Analogue Wonderland HQ last week, but I got COVID, so sorry about that. But we're doing this virtually, and hopefully it will still be entertaining for you all.
Well, we were hoping to do some weird kind of Stranger Things upside down kind of thing, weren't we?
Yeah, that would have been fun.
You'd be on the camera, but yeah, it couldn't work out, unfortunately. But we'll come and see you.
We'll make it happen, yeah. So do you guys want to introduce yourself for those who don't know Front? Do you want to tell us a bit about it?
I mean, I would talk about it for 20 minutes talking.
All right, well, we are, what do you want to say? I'm Luke, this is Jamie. We're creating a website called Front, which is essentially a place for people to sell their prints, like prints of their work, but not in a Etsy kind of way. It's in a, you create your profile, you sell your photos through us, but we print them and we ship them out, essentially. There's loads more to it than that, but and we've got lots of ideas that we're going to kind of add to it as the months go on after it's launched. But in a nutshell, that's what it is, right?
Yeah, the core product is going to be your own profile on Front that allows you to show people the best of your work, and then you can sell that work in print form. And we do all the boring bit, the printing, the packaging.
Yeah. We kind of found that people were putting, selling prints via DM or putting a shop button on their website, but never actually adding a shop to their website, or they'd want to sell prints, but it's like a hassle getting them printed and packaging them up, and people kind of fall at that last hurdle quite often, I think. And I was trying to buy a print from somebody in America, and Jamie was trying to buy a print from someone in America as well. Okay. And we were trying to find out, could you we'll pay you, but send us the JPEG and we'll get it printed, and all this convoluted way around it. And we were like, shouldn't there be a solution to this? And we thought, we Googled it for about 3 minutes probably, and we were like, no, there's nothing. There might be some similar things like this we've since found out, but we didn't see that at the time. And a bit of healthy competition.
Well, there's nothing like what we're building that we can see, and it's also about helping support the community. Since we're at the Front as well, we've genuinely blown away with the questions that we get every day, or messages of support, or people intrigued to find out when Front is coming out. So for us, it's just a way of giving back to the community that we want to be a part of, and that we are a part of. Me and Luke are just two photographers, right? We're not professionals in any way. We're just photography enthusiasts who want to go out and shoot just like everyone else, whether it be digital film, on your phone, whatever it might be. So for us, it's a way of giving back to the community and building something that has kind of been created by the community in a lot of ways. I guess, I know it's kind of our idea, but the idea is that people have pitched to us. We've kind of slowly been evolving, and even when Front launches, it will continue to evolve into the future with new ideas and new features coming to the platform itself. Stay tuned, it's coming.
So Front actually won one of the community funds with us a year ago, maybe a year ago.
Yeah, first round.
Yeah, so that was literally just as we'd started, come up with the idea for it. And we started building it and kind of got in touch, via that. And we thought, we don't even necessarily want to win. We just sort of it was a cool thing to enter it, and it was nice to
way of getting feedback, I guess.
Yeah, and it was quite cool. Like when I wrote down an email to Paul, like, this is what we're gonna do, and he called up and was like, "Is this what I understand correctly? This is what you're building?" Yeah. He was like, "That's a really good idea," and everyone we've spoken to was like, "That's a cool idea."
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone would say that's a bad idea. If they thought it was a bad idea, but
I think the point behind it as well is that we're going to help. You know, it's not just like photographers that are out there that are like professional photographers. They already sell their work, right? They have ways of being able to print their work or sell it online through their own websites. But front is almost for the 99% of people that aren't professional photographers that want to help support other photographers. Like me and Luke did. We both wanted to buy prints off random people that we came across on Instagram because we liked their work. There was no other reason. We just stumbled across their accounts, looked through their work, and was like, that would look cool on my wall, or that would look cool as a print at home, whatever it might be. So we reached out to them, sent them a message, can we buy your work? Oh, I don't print my work, or, you know, like, oh, I don't know how, or I'll send that to you, but give me a couple of months.
Yeah.
So really, we just wanted somewhere, well, so many people are in the same boat, let's build a platform that is for every photographer. And then through what we're doing as well, we will help support every photographer, every artist, because you could be an illustrator, you could be a drawer, whatever it might be, anything you can print your artwork on. Obviously, we're focusing it around photography just because that's what we do. But yeah, it's exciting times.
Definitely. It's almost sort of like ongoing joke, like, oh, when is Front going to launch? Like, everyone's waiting, but
we're almost a meme, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, it could have been, I'll be honest, it could have launched a while ago, but we built a lot of it, and then to cut a very long, boring story short, we then tried to build it differently, and now we're back to building it in the original way that we were doing it.
But obviously, we're two guys like that. We both work full time. Luke's got 3 kids.
Yeah.
I haven't got that excuse, but I work longer hours than Luke. So you know, we're doing this as and when we can, right? We're fortunate now to be in a studio, which has really helped us out. And we've got other people that are helping us, but it's still very much me and Luke that are doing the effort.
Driving.
Yeah, we're driving it, we're implementing the ideas. And then when we got the idea, we were like, yeah, we'll knock this out in a couple of months, no problem. You know, told you guys about it, we're lucky enough to bring the bit of money, which is great. Thanks for supporting us. But then, you know, we started coming across not necessarily problems, but things that we just didn't have. Yeah, well, just the payment side alone, I want to make sure that that's really secure for everyone that's on the platform. Right? We just assume that you put a plugin in and people can just start paying, but we need to think of everything that could potentially go wrong to make sure that we're safeguarding everything. Then we need to make sure that the server's big enough to hold everyone's high-res images. But people can't steal the photos off the website. So, you know, there's so many things you just don't think about. And you've got to write all the terms and conditions, and then you've got to make sure it actually works, like it runs smoothly. It doesn't take too long to load. So hopefully, well, we're confident it'll be worth the wait. But like we said, it's going to consistently evolve into the future. But our core products, we don't want to tell you about any of our other ideas just in case they don't go ahead. But we have got some awesome ideas that we will be implementing in the future. But the core products will always be supporting the photography community in printing their work, because we firmly believe that when you print your work, you have a sense of enjoyment that is so much better than looking at something on your phone or whatever it might be. Right?
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that was our kind of goal, and that will always be our core product.
And you've really laid the foundations for your business beforehand, which I actually think, like, in a few months' time when Front is launched, you'll be really grateful for, because you've built that community. Like, you've got your YouTube going, you've got a brilliant podcast interviewing people, and people know what Front is. So I think like that will definitely pay off, and you've definitely got the support of the community behind you. So
you know what, we keep saying to ourselves we should put more of a schedule in place, try and put out a video, 2 videos a week, whatever it might be. But really, if you have been supporting us, thank you so much. But really, you can see it's just me and Luke being ourselves, and we're kind of documenting the journey. In the way, we haven't given away too much at the moment in terms of what Front actually looks like. But if you are watching this by now, we probably would have already released a snippet. Yeah, I reckon so.
I have got some photos of what it looks like.
Some print screens.
It is really close to like. Actually, we're going to start testing it in the next some amount of weeks. I don't want to say because I feel like we've said this before.
Well, we're testing it all the time, aren't we?
But final right, it's done. We test it. We've got a group of ambassadors on board who, like many of them, you know, people will know, like Holly, and Alex, and Sophia, and Madison, and Christian, you see, and Bray. That's it. I've been counting them on my fingers. And then we're hoping maybe there'll be a couple more before we actually launch it, but they're all going to help us test it out and be on there when we launch it, stuff like that. We've got a few other people who want to test it. Yeah.
And we've had hundreds of people now registered to the mailing list, which is absolutely
cool.
But I think, tell me if I'm wrong here, but if you are registered to the mailing list, you will have the one and only launch deal that we will ever do. Not launch deal, but the only deal that we will ever do, because we know we've priced it very effectively. There's a free version and there's going to be a premium version, like everything nowadays, right? But if you are registered to the mailing list, and if you do want a premium version from, no pressure at all, there will be a launch offer if you are subscribed to the mailing list. But even better than that, even if you only want the free version, you will have access to Front before anyone else you are registered to the mailing list. It won't go out to the general public. It will go out to people that are registered to Front.
So can you still register now? Is there still time?
Yeah. So basically, we just asking people to sign up to say, yeah, I'm interested in being part of it when it launches. And we have had a lot more than we thought we would. And then, so yeah, even if like 10% of those people sign up on the day. So yeah, we just thought we're never going to do like offers on it because we just think people wait for those offers to come back round and stuff like that. So we thought actually just do one discount once when we launch, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah. But again, there is a free version, so no pressure.
Yeah, it'll always be free to use as well.
Yeah.
You just get a bit more with it if you pay.
Yeah. There's some more features we can't just tell you about, but it is good.
I'm excited. I think it'll be worth the wait. Like, as someone who's wanted to set up a website for ages and just hasn't done it, or like it's a bit overwhelming or complicated to have a platform like this that just does exactly what you need, will be like so beneficial, and also allow just, you know, hobbyists or amateurs to sell their work as well. I think there's sort of a misconception that you have to be a professional to be selling prints, but hopefully this will like open it up to a wider range of people.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the point. Like I said, hopefully we'll have some of those big name photographers on the side. Like, since we've started Front or started building Front, we've had the opportunity and great pleasure of speaking to some amazing names within the photography community who have all showed their support towards us. You know, hopefully they'll be on Front as well. But for us, it was always about supporting every photographer, not just names. And even on our Instagram now, like, we're on this fine line at the moment where people sometimes think that we're just sharing stuff, you know, just like a sharing account, and it's not at all. We want to support photographers at all levels, but the idea is still that it's going to be towards Front. And once the website actually launches, our Instagram will change ever so slightly, because we'll be sharing photos from the people that are on Front rather than just the one that's on Instagram.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exciting. I was going to say something about the shop itself, because it's an online shop. Again, if you're an amateur photographer and all you've got is an Instagram that says DM me for prints, you can now delete that part and just put your link to Front.
Yeah.
If you've taken the next step, you know, we all watch YouTube, right? Most videos nowadays are sponsored by Squarespace, which is great. If you've got your own Squarespace site or Wix or wherever it might be, again, you can drop your Front profile into your shop on your own website. And obviously someone goes on there and clicks on shop into your Front site. But then the whole other side from that as well is that we will be building more of a community on the platform, so you can go in there and check out like the news or the randomly featured accounts that are going to be on there like every week.
Oh yeah. So we're kind of curating like the home page and the discovery pages on the website. So if you search for something, like say you search for street photography, it will bring up a selection of street photography images that you could buy, but then when you like search again, it will just bring up different ones, so people can tag their work with certain tags and things like that. And again, when you go to, we've got like a discovery section where you can just be like, I want to find a new photographer whose work I like to look at.
So cool.
You can go on there and it will just pull through random photographers. Whereas there are a few other things that do, like platforms that do a similar thing to what we're doing, but from looking at how they work, I think you can like pay to upgrade, so you can be featured on there and stuff like that. And we're like, I don't really want to do that, because the people who can afford to pay for it probably don't need in that same way. So we kind of want to be a bit more like, what's the word?
Randomised, I guess. We want to help support everyone and let everyone have the opportunity to be featured.
It's a bit more democratic.
Yeah,
that's what and then we like feature. We can curate the homepage and stuff. So we will curate people each week and feature photographers where we're just going to select like random people to go on there and be like on the homepage when you first go to it. So
and we haven't mentioned the price as well. So we won't tell you the price of the premium, but I was going to say how the pricing works, because we also value people's work, and we don't think you should ever underestimate yourself as an artist or a photographer. So the minimum price you'll be able to sell something for is something. It is something. We want to get it in the way, but it's not going to be like,
it's not like a fiver.
Yeah, like that's a quid, and you make a couple of pence on front. The idea is to put as much of the money as possible into the photographer's work.
Yeah. So you can only upload like a limited amount of images. So we don't want people uploading like hundreds of photos just to see what sticks. It's like it's called front because it's a shot front, like rate what goes in your shot front. So there's only a few images that you can upload, and there's a minimum price you can sell an image for, and otherwise you would literally make like a couple of pounds or even less than a pound. If you're selling something for like £5, once you've factored in shipping and printing and then the fee that the platform takes, you're making like 2 pence or something, and you'll get that and be like, oh, well, this is a load of crap. Why am I bothering? But you'll make actual money, and the person on the other end, the person who's buying the photo, they're not doing that like every day. They're buying this as a one-off thing to go on there.
So they're
spending that money. And then it's not a fortune, but it's like
you have the option to set the price of whatever you want, but there will be a minimum that you can sell something for. So if you wanted to sell a piece of work for £200 or £5,000, you can, or 20 quid, whatever it might be, you can.
But you just can't sell it for a £5.
You just can't sell it. We won't give you the
I think a lot of photographers wouldn't have the confidence to set that boundary themselves. Like
I always say
the value themselves.
Exactly, but if I look around my house at, my own home, if I look at the things that I do on the wall, I've spent a little bit of money on them. I'm not saying
I was going to say it's still loaded.
I'm not loaded at all. But it's not that, it wasn't just like I've gone to a high street shop and do you know what I mean? Like, there's little, but what I would cherish.
This is it. I messaged somebody randomly and said, I really like this picture. If you ever sell prints of it, like, let me know, I'll buy one. And eventually, like 6 months later, I got it. And he was like, I was like, how much do you want for it? And he was like, £30. Is that all right? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I thought you were going to say like 50. So yeah, that's cool. But it is, you do feel really like it's hard to place that value on it. So taking that out of the equation. So
that's really good.
I
think also with photography, like, it's not a painting, so people underestimate the amount of time that goes into making a piece of work. They think it's just sort of firing a shutter, but especially with analog photography, like, it's an even longer process, and there are so many other costs that go into that. So it's really important to value that in your work.
If you shot a roll of film every day, or even if you went out with any camera and you shot every day, you might get one or two that you like. But then if you look at those one or two over the year, let's say you've got 50 photos that you're somewhat okay with over the year, really, if you narrow it down to your favourites, you're lucky to get 5 photos a year that you really want to, like, that you'd be happy to put your name on and sell, right? I know people get lucky, people are well deserved and do a lot more than that. But if I think of my own photography, there's maybe a handful of photos that
Yeah.
my own front profile. And again, to be clear on the difference as well, the free version of the website and the premium version. The premium, there's going to be additional features which we won't tell you about yet, but there's going to be lots of other features or additional kind of ways of using front, more photo uploads for argument's sake. But the kind of main one, if you like, is that as you sell something, you'll only have to pay a smaller percentage to us, because we will take on board some of that cost for you, because you're paying for the premium version. And have we told people what the breakdown is?
That's not. I mean, it's not going to change from what we set it as, but it's
register to the mailing list.
It's not a lot anyway.
No.
So like, I know like Shutterstock, if you sell an image, obviously it's not print, but the most, and you have to be paying like for a really like proper pro premium account, you make like 40% of the sale.
Right.
Not great. So we're more like, you know, like closer to like double, you know, whatever that. Yeah. So it's we're more about like getting people to sell their work and actually make some money off their photography where they wouldn't necessarily be able to otherwise.
And there's already work going into future plans of even more ways that photographers can potentially earn their work.
And will you guys be offering like lots of different print styles, like different finishes of paper and all that sort of thing?
To start off with, we're just doing like, you can only sell in 3 different sizes, and it's like you can sell on matte or gloss, and it's like 3 paper, and you can sell it with a border or without a border, and that's it from when we actually launched it. But we've got loads of ways that we want to sell, you know, offer people, whether it's in frames or different finishes or different paper types, and a few other,
There might be a way that if you're like a premium account, you might only want to sell 20 photos of, you know, one photo of 20. Work out a way at the moment that maybe they can be hand signed by the photographer, and then we can fulfill that and send it out on their release day. So I think that's backwards from a business point, because we're only going to have the opportunity to say sell 20 photos from one person, but we would rather have that exclusivity of an artist being able to limit the amount of prints that they have sold, so you can say that this is only one of 20. But at the same time, if you want to sell 100, then set the limit to 100 or 100, whatever it might be. And we're really lucky that we've got some great partnerships that we've grown over the last year, which is kind of the reason it's taken so long. It's not just the website, but it's everything else we're doing as well. The only thing we're grateful that we've been given that time to kind of really ingrain ourselves in the community and meet some other companies, meet other like-minded people, like yourselves at Analogue Wonderland, but also like studios and print shops. And we want to support local, and at the same time we want to support the community. So we're just doing what we can to help do it.
And for those of you who went to Analogue Spotlight, you might have seen front. So that was like the first, I think, like real physical exhibition we'd seen you guys put on. Is that right? Which was really cool. And I think people were like super impressed with the print quality, and it definitely brought some buzz for what's to come. Great.
Good. There was me walking around looking pretty good. There's me walking around in the front t-shirt, and to be fair, I got talking to some amazing people there. We printed out, I think, was it 50 or 75 photos for the Analogue Spotlight, which again we wanted to help support because one of our ambassadors is Holly, and I know she was very heavily much involved in organising all that. So kudos to her and the team for doing all that. That was great. It was a great day, but it was our pleasure to put prints into that.
I think when people see a physical print, they're like, this is what all the fuss is about, because you don't actually see them that often anymore. So it was great to see that little exhibition that you put together.
And that's it. Like me personally, like, I can see myself buying lots of, say, small prints that I might just keep in a folder that I can look through, like creating my own book for other photographers' prints. But at the same time, I might buy one big print to go in a frame with my TV, I mean, whatever it might be. And there's lots of different ways you can help support other people. Just through Instagram alone, you know, we only use Instagram. We've just got Twitter, haven't we? But I've got a clue how to use it. Any tips out there, give us a shout. but yeah, we predominantly use Instagram, and the amount of people that we've met that know other photographers that we've shared or featured is so good. So for us, it's about trying to keep those people connected, but also give those people, a wider audience to start discovering themselves.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's great to see them as well. They'll only ever build from that.
Well, I asked some people on Instagram if they had any questions for you guys. So let's see what we had. I'm going to put on my front hat for this bit.
Oh, nice.
I forgot to bring in my Analogue Wonderland hat.
You need some caps for summer.
No, yeah. If you want a cap, leave a comment.
Yeah. I love a bit of merch. Okay, let's see what we have.
Did you keep a pink one?
I think probably.
They're so soft. They're amazing.
Yeah, the finest quality. Yeah.
Okay, so first question is flash or no flash?
Oh, this is. I know what you're going to say. Can I answer first?
Sure.
I was 100% no flash until I just picked up an Olympus XA with the flash.
Oh, nice.
And our ambassador, Yoshi, he's got some crazy contraption on his head where he's got like a flashlight attached to a helmet.
Yeah.
And the results are insane.
It is really good. And when he's doing like protest photography and stuff like that, it's quite striking image.
But the results are fantastic. So I would say no, because I personally don't really use flash, and maybe it's because I'm not very good at it. But people who can use flash, 100%, photos are great.
Yeah, no, just don't. I don't like the look of street photography with a flash, and I don't really like. I don't know how to use it properly either. So.
Yeah.
We want to get people to support, don't we?
My dad's got a flash and it doesn't work. So.
Oh, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I really like a flash. I think it makes images look really like harsh and grungy, and I like that look. I went out with my Pentax with a flash from a Diana Mini on the camera, and it looks so ridiculous.
Did you? I'm pretty sure you took a photo, not last year, but even the year before that, Emma. Do you remember when it snowed?
Yeah.
Like a photo, I want to say it was like of a bridge or something like that, and you had like the flash that captured the snow coming down in the foreground. I might have made that up.
I'm not sure. It doesn't ring a bell. But I know that sort of photo, and I love the harsh light on the snow. It always looks cool.
I think to me, it's that like 90s, it's like
aesthetic, yeah.
Aesthetic, which people think is cool, but when you were actually a teenager in the 90s, like me, like, that's just it didn't look good to me then. So now it's like people look back on it like, oh, it was so good. And it wasn't.
So the next question is, can you shout out your favorite photographer that's like a person of color or someone from like a minority background?
Well, there's Yoshi.
Yeah, I'd say Yoshi
is an incredible photographer. Like,
I don't think I've heard of them. We're gonna have to.
His name's Aish, and I used to work with him, and then we kind of like reconnected, but via LinkedIn. Of all cool.
Right.
So what happened? I saw that he put out a book, and he was. And so like, I bought a copy of the book and got talking to him again. And then when we started doing front, I kind of just asked him to be one of the ambassadors. But his work is just like he does a lot of street photography with like a Ricoh GR2, whereas so not street photography. Well, yeah, but he does a lot of protest photography with a Ricoh, whereas a lot of people will be shooting on like a 100mm lens. He's right in the thick of things, like shooting on a 28mm.
Right.
And it's just super impressive. And you can tell the difference between somebody who's like up close, literally getting like, and as opposed to somebody who's like stood back, staying safe and that kind of thing.
But we followed him for some time, which is why we wanted him. Why we asked him to be an ambassador for. We've always enjoyed, like, and especially we was actually with him the other day, so to see how he works as well is
cool.
so inspiring.
Yeah.
Just to see his like mental, like he's a geek, right? He's a geek like us, right? Like we're all photography geeks. He's very much like that, but in the coolest way. Do you know what I mean? Like he knows what he's on about. He's more than happy to like experiment with his work, but he's very focused on what he wants, and he can see what he wants straight away. He can go up and capture it 9 out of 10 times. It's
absolutely good, isn't it?
But then I also want to give Ribsy a shout out.
Yeah.
Of course it counts. I forgot the original question, but I'm pretty sure
Ribsy.
He's been
3 more.
Okay.
So, but yeah, Ribsy. Everyone knows Ribsy. Are we allowed to say more than one?
Yeah, go. The more the better.
Well, I was going to shout out Ribsy just because for me personally, like to see him grow over the last couple of years.
I don't know how he does it. Like,
I know how he does it.
The content.
Yeah, because he's really cool and really likable, and I'm like, yes, that's how he do it.
Yeah, and he's just a nice dude. We had him on our podcast. I know he was the judge for you a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Back. And yeah, his work's inspiring as well. Like, there's a couple of photos that I'm thinking of in my head where he's walked around like London or wherever it might be. But he's just a likable dude. You know what I mean? Like, motivation. So yeah.
I'm just trying to think of people's real names rather than their Instagram names.
Yeah, it's hard.
There's Josh Francis, who is one of the people who I was trying to buy a print from. Who he's actually based in America.
Washington.
No. He moved. But anyway. His work's really amazing. We'll continue a link to these.
Yeah.
But he was actually, like he kind of the catalyst for us starting Brent was him, really. But his work's amazing. There's a woman called on Instagram, her name's like Kearney Flakes, but I can't remember what her.
We'll find all these Instagrams and put them in the description.
And Lens Fair, but what's
Alicia.
Yes.
Alicia, yes. I met her at Analogue
Spotlight. She's awesome.
Yeah, really nice.
Right, okay. Yeah. Is that
that's a good next question. What are your thoughts on the male gaze versus the female gaze? It's a hard question.
Well, I would. I mean, I don't know my thoughts on it versus them each other. Do you know what's her name? Do you know that film Portrait of a Lady on Fire?
I'm not sure.
Right. Well, it's a really good film, but it's a perfect example of like the female gaze. But if you've not seen it, then yeah. But basically, it's like it is quite an erotic film, right? But if you compare it, but it's like it's not like explicit, but it's like quite like it's just amazing, like beautifully shot film. And comparing that to something which I do like. There's a film, Blue is the Warmest Colour, which is a good film, but it's just quite an explicit film. Or something like, have you seen Love? It's a 3D sort of. It's a mainstream film, it's also kind of like a porn film, but it's also like in 3D.
One's intense.
If you can imagine.
I feel like the question should have been what are Luke's favourite films that he's ashamed to.
So I feel like the male gaze, if you're a teenage boy, is like great. And when you kind of like grow up and learn that like things can be a bit more interesting rather than being just completely explicit with things.
I don't think it matters too much, like just to be open to it, it shouldn't really.
Yeah, I think it's important you understand both and the differences and try and put yourself in both perspectives. I think you could learn a lot from that with your photography. Or even just comparing like work of female photographers to male photographers.
Well, we actually realised, we only had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, we've got more female ambassadors than we have male ambassadors. And that wasn't through design or
it was just people's work we preferred.
It was just purely based on the work and what they were doing for the photography community that we reached out to them, or we'd just been following them for a long time. You know what I mean? Like I said to you, like when a little secret for you, not that the winner was ill-deserved, but when we were judging the competition for the Analogue Spotlight, you and Holly were in like the top 3, but unfortunately we couldn't pick you and Holly, so we had to.
We picked them blind.
Yeah, we picked them blind. Yeah, like this, right? Like this competition we did today. We don't know who the winners are. We don't know who. We didn't know the names of the pictures, should we say? But yeah, we didn't know. We didn't try and say, oh, we want 4 guys and 4 girls or whatever. It just didn't matter to us. It was based on the work and what they produced and what they were doing that we wanted to support. So it was our honour that they said yes, not the patient. It's our honour that we've reached out to every single one and said, please come and support us. Like, check out what we've got going on. Not, oh, we're this people. You should come join us. It was help support us. We want to help support you where we can. Yeah, we feel very honoured that they've all said yes.
So somebody just said hi, which is always nice.
Hello.
The last question.
Is that Gaz? It's got to be Gaz.
I don't know who that was.
It's from Gaz Box. He's
No.
like, Gaz, I know you're watching this, mate, so you deserve it.
Last question, which is a nice one. Individually, tell the story of the moment you fell in love with analog, like your first roll you shot, your first camera. Do you remember that?
I had a Zenit XP12, but I didn't buy it because it was a Zenit XP12. I bought it because it was about £25 in my local camera shop.
Bargain.
And I used to run a shop, so I studied photography at college when I was college. 14, 15, 16 years old, whatever it was.
14, you went to college?
Yeah.
You're a child prodigy.
It's
College is like 18 to 20.
like 16 to 18.
It's instead of, no.
I skipped
When you go to uni?
Rain Man, I thought. I don't know. However old I was when I went to college, 17 years old. No, I'm pretty sure.
Child prodigy.
I didn't go to uni, but I went to college and I studied photography and film. So
Okay.
I went to photography at college, and I actually dropped out of college. I dropped out of my second year because they got rid of the dark room at college, so they made everyone go to digital and use Photoshop.
That's rubbish.
And I was already a year behind using, because my first year I only studied analog, and half the people studied digital, half the people studied analog, and in year 2 it was only digital, so I hadn't learned a thing. So I dropped out. But at the time I actually had a job working in a photography studio, and I learned more in 6 weeks there than I did in a year at college. So I can't really remember specifically the cameras or the films I would have used. I mean, 100% would have been using £1 rolls of film that I got now.
Still, film used to cost anyway.
Exactly. But yeah, specifically I can't remember the exact camera, but it was definitely college. But like all things, like I've always skateboarded, and photography, it kind of became this thing that I didn't do as much, but I'd always kind of subliminally follow. I've got some really close friends of mine that are really, really good photographers. My friend Nick, he does some amazing photos, but he does 3D photography as well. He's been a real inspiration. And then there's a lot of people that I've met through Front before we started Front, I guess, like just through Instagram, like Luke and Luke actually used to work together. Never spoke about photography until after we finished working together. But yeah, there's a lot of people. And then for me, I've always skateboarded, so there's been some really cool photographers that also skateboard, take photos of skateboarding photography that I followed for years. And that kind of has all helped inspire me to kind of pick up the camera 6, 7, 8 years ago again.
I think the first camera I bought, like when I was like, I'm going to get into photography, but I thought I'm going to buy a film camera. I just kind of prefer the idea of shooting that, and I don't know what type of film. I just used to go into Boots and you could buy like rolls of film for a £5. It was probably like HD5 or whatever, and I didn't think too much of it until I wanted to do a course. So I did a BTEC in photography, but it was all digital, and it totally put me off really wanting to do photography for a while. And then I thought, I'm going to get back into it, but I only had an SLR, and I bought a little tiny rangefinder. It's called a Ricoh 500G, and I could like put it in my coat pocket, and I bought loads of Colour Plus that was like £4 a roll at the time. Hey,
about £2.
No, I think it was £3.95 in our local camera shop, and it was just started doing like more street photography on film. And then I remember I went to London, and it was a little while before lockdown, and I went to Sean Tucker's exhibition, and I met him, which was quite cool. And then when I left, I took a really nice photo, and I remember, so that was on Colour Plus, and it made me think, I've got a £4 roll of film and a £15 camera, and I've just taken like a better photo than I've ever taken using a digital camera or anything like that. So that was it when I was like, and that, I think I put that on Instagram, and that's when we started speaking again. We were like, well, we stopped speaking. But yeah, we started speaking, we got back in touch with each other, and
Luke became obsessed with him, so let's start a business together.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I feel like people say film is so expensive, which, I mean, it can be. But if you wanted a top-of-the-range digital camera, like, you could get loads of rolls of film for that much. Like, in all I've spent on film over the last 2 or 3 years, I still don't think I would afford, like, the top-of-the-range camera with that.
Oh yeah, it's worth every penny, and it's the feeling of using it as well, Jack.
Yeah.
Knowing that you've only got a handful of opportunities to take a photo, in most cases one, if that. Digital, you can kind of snap away. Nothing against digital photography at all. We both shoot film and digital, but film has just got that.
That's
the real, it's got the patience, do you know what I mean? Like,
I think it was later on, when was it? The WonderBox launched in like 2020, was it?
Yeah, it was like September 2020 or something.
And that's like, I signed up for that and started getting through all these different types of film that you'd never you'd never tried.
Yeah.
And I found so many different types of film that I really love, that I kind of like thought, no, I'm not going to try that. I'll try, the stuff that I know. So that's quite cool.
That was like one of my biggest things that I appreciate since starting front, is having the opportunity to shoot different cameras and different films.
Yeah.
I just never would have. Do you know what I mean? And credit to yourselves at Analogue Wonderland, like, for having such a wide variety and a wide selection of films to shoot. Because we all do it, right? Like, always, like, I shoot a roll of, I know, I might shoot a roll of portrait for the first time and go, yeah, this is all I'm going to shoot. Next week I've got some Ultramax, and then the week after that I've got some.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever it might be, like you constantly want to try new things. Fair enough, you know the stuff that you like more than others, but it's important to experiment. It's important to try new.
We're now going to move on into the photo competition judging. So as always, we'll have a couple of special mentions, a grand winner and a lucky dip winner, and both of those guys will receive a Analogue Wonderland voucher from us. So the first entry we have is by Chris Lockyer. This was taken on Lomography Red Scale. Who picked this image?
Is that me? Yeah.
To be fair, I think we're both going to pick this, but
yeah. Well, I like the fact that it was taken by Chris Lockyer, because I know I always see him in the comments.
Yeah, he always does well.
yeah. So that's nice to find out that's one of his. I just think it's a cool image. I've never shot that red scale before, but it doesn't look. It looks like it could just be a really warm, like glowing, summery one.
Yeah.
It doesn't look necessarily like it's just got a red wash over it, which I think is really cool.
He's thought about that photo, right? That's what it says to me. It's just a really nice picture. The colours are beautiful, but it's not like public, so it's not too far from real life, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like the horror that is Loma Chrome Purple.
Oh no.
So it's like, I don't know what that thing is in the foreground, like some kind of sculpture or something.
Yeah, so the title of the image is Red Scale Sculpture.
Right.
Mhm. And Chris says about this film that it's wacky stuff, have a play and see what happens, try different exposures to vary the effect. So obviously, yeah,
the whole world of shots looks like that anyways. But yeah, it's a beautiful photo.
Nice. So well done to Chris.
Nice one, Chris.
See your name coming up again. So next one is by Alex Gunn. And this one is called Sprockets Out for Brunel.
It's called what? Sprocket?
Sprockets Out for Brunel.
Okay.
I wonder what Brunel... I know there's a Brunel University.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's there.
Yeah, I guess it's something to do with that then. I assume it's sort of like that sprocket rocket camera or
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I like that.
This is probably one of the ones that we spoke about the most when we were making a short list of photos, just because we liked the sprocket holes.
Like the sprocket holes, and originally we looked at it and was like, no, and then I kind of looked back at it and like taking away the sprocket holes, like gimmick or whatever that kind of is actually it's really well framed, like all of the kind of
nice layers to it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it all kind of like starts, it just goes back and back.
And the colours are nice, sort of detail sharp.
Mm.
Nice photo.
Yeah,
So-
what was it shot? What was the film?
This was taken on Portra 160.
No, so I was going to say with maybe portrait just because of the green to those trees. It's got that look.
I like that it's got a little people in it there on the bridge.
Yeah.
It's just a nice photo. It's been framed well. That'd look awesome, like as a print. Like you bought like a bog standard kind of frame, but you cut the pano line out.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice photo.
So this was actually taken using a medium format camera, but have you seen you can get those little adapters so you can shoot the whole of a 35mm roll in medium format and it exposes the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's something I really want to try. I think sprockets just add a whole different feel to an image. It's really cool.
Nice.
Have you guys shot with sprockets before?
No, I was looking at those low-mo cameras you can get. I'm really interested in like, want to shoot like some panoramic photography. I borrowed a camera off our local camera shop a while ago that was, it's 120, you can only shoot 4. Yeah, so it's double the length of like what you would normally shoot.
Oh wow.
So you get these amazing, like huge images. Obviously it's really expensive.
Yeah.
So I was kind of trying to find something else, and I kind of came across that sprocket thingy. But yeah, I hadn't thought about that 120.
Yeah, worth a go. The adapters are only like a £5 or something, and you can have fun playing with them. Yeah, they're just like little 3D printed things that just slot onto either end of the roll.
I'm going to check that out. Before that, if there's anyone out there who wants to lend us cameras to make videos, cool. Otherwise, we have to do
Yeah.
So Alex says about this film, it looks glorious in the sunshine. The low ISO is useful for getting shallow depth of field portraits in daylight. Good tip.
Yeah.
Well done, Alex. Next one is a black and white image. This was taken on Ilford Delta 100, and this is by Sebastian.
Did I pick this one?
We
We tried to pick 3 or 4 each, but we kind of were drawn to some of the same.
Got double the judges this time. I don't think we've had 2 judges on before, so it's interesting to see different opinions.
Good, that's what we're doing. what I like about this photo, to me, it's similar to the kind of photo I would take, and I'm going to start with a negative, but it's going to quickly turn into a positive.
That's like no.
A pun.
That's like that's the one. And that's what you do when you take a photo, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
You turn a negative into a positive.
Wow, blow my own mind there. But it's the kind of photo I would take, and I mean this in a respectful way. There's not loads going on in the photo, but I'm completely okay with that because it's such a nice photo. Like, it's sharp, the tones in it are really nice, the contrast in it's nice.
Yeah, nice contrast.
The sky's beautiful in it. It's just a really nice photo. Do you know what I mean? Even though there's not loads going on, I'm okay with that because it just seems like it's the perfect film for that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not looking at that photo going, that would look nice in colour, or that would look nice, so on and so forth. To me, I really like it. The angle they've taken it with the light coming in from the right hand side, really nice.
Yeah, what was the film again?
Delta 100.
Nice. That's the greatest black and white film that you can buy. I don't know if you knew that.
Negative, not true.
But there is the and I found that out through getting a role in the WonderBox. But that photo, I don't like shooting black and white a lot. I try and shoot colour of them, but I like how you can see the light in photos, and you can usually see that more in colour photos. But with this, you can see all the light coming across that building. So it's black and white. I really liked about it.
So Sebastian says, with good lighting and some darkroom manipulation, Delta 100 can make some stunning prints. And yeah, I think this would look really nice as a print.
Yeah.
He says he particularly loves the wide range of grey tones and the contrast between the sky and the windows of the building, as well as the great ability to manipulate the negative in the darkroom. The photo of my uni at sunset originally started off only as a darkroom print that I loved, and was only scanned as the original print is now displayed on a wall in my uni. Ah, that's nice.
Oh, that's really cool. It's one of those photos as well where I keep looking and finding new things to it as well. But I love the railing at the bottom where the light's hitting that. And I keep getting drawn to the very top of the wooden barrier at the top of the photo where it goes around the corner, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, well done. So the next one is by another regular WonderBoxer. This is by Miles from Expired Film Club, and this was taken on Kodak Color Plus. So it's the one with the boat in it.
Yeah. I just love it. I love the colours.
I love Colour Plus. I'm going to say it now. I've always loved Colour Plus.
It's so nice to have it back in our lives. We've had a few stocks of it.
I've got some of it. We've run out there.
I think we're hopefully putting some back on this week.
Oh, nice. Yeah, let us know, because last time you announced it, I snapped it up straight away. I'm glad that you got some. Who took this photo? Mine. Colour Plus, because this is just an awesome photo. I don't know where it is. Where is it?
I think he went to Italy, on holiday on the Amalfi Coast.
Yeah, it's just really nice. If you look at the bottom of the photo, it's got like the pastely kind of red, and it kind of slowly works up to yellow, slowly going to blue. You've got the blue sky. It's framed well. It's just an all-round great photo.
The tones are really nice.
Which, to be honest, oftenly I will, in the evening, I'll sit at home and I'll often, is oftenly not a word?
Is now.
So I will often pick up a book or look through some photos, and to me, if I'm looking at a photo and I go, what's going on there? I want to be there.
Yeah.
It's more
the winner.
So,
it's nice to start seeing holiday photos entered in the competition as well, because I feel like we have just had the same sort of lockdown walks for so long. So it's a really lovely one. So Miles says, this is just a great all-round film. I particularly like shooting this on a sunny day whilst on holiday on the Amalfi Coast. It captured the bright tones beautifully, especially for Kodak's entry-level colour film. Which, it's a good point, considering it's like their cheapest colour film out there, the results are always amazing.
It's reliable. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you still get an element of surprise, even though you kind of know what you're going to get. But it's great. Those are really nice. But I think where he is in the world in that photo, it's really helps compliment.
Yeah, and he actually says that this roll was from the Analogue Spotlight goodie bag, and I think they were all given a slightly expired roll of colour film. So considering it's expired as well, it looks really good.
I also think as well, if I was there, I would have 100% took that photo landscape, and I'm so glad that he's taking a portrait. I like landscape photos more than portraits, so I'm drawn to them more, maybe I should.
Yeah.
Okay, but
is there a bit of colour shift in the sound? Is that maybe because it's expired?
Maybe.
It's almost got like a slightly pinky.
It looks a bit purpley, yeah.
That's what I quite like. It kind of goes in through the photo.
It's one of those things like we talk about a lot. That's just like someone's house, or somebody lives there, and they probably walk past there every single day. And they've never taken a photo.
Mundane thing, yeah.
But when you go there, it's like when they're outside your front door and you can't take anything to take a picture of. But if somebody else came, they would be like snapping away. Whereas, so it's almost got that kind of.
Yeah, interesting. So well done to Miles, and the next one we have is by Rebecca Miller. This one is titled Slow Day, and do any of you know what film this might have been on?
I was going to say like HP4 or something.
HP4. No, HP4. It's like a secret film.
Oh, it's HP4 film? HP4, sorry.
So it's actually on Ilford XP2, which is the film that can be processed in C41 chemistry.
Yeah, that is my favourite black and white film. So maybe that's why I picked this photo. I really like this photo. I think I initially picked this one, didn't I?
We chatted about it for a while.
I really like the layers in it, like from the quality of the photo, the actual what the photo is. It's got really nice layers to it, detailed layers. And then also, I would assume that this is a house or someone's house that she knows, right? And it's one of those things that I would see. This one inspires me to go and shoot photos in my own house, right? Like, it doesn't look as pretty as that outside my house, but I'm so glad that this photo was taken, because I would never think to take this photo.
Yeah.
So that's why I like it. And then on top of all that, it's come out beautifully. Like,
I really like this.
Contrasty, really toned, really nice, and the outside it's like sharp, beautiful light there, exposed it perfectly.
And the tendency of the film is to like overexpose it sometimes. Like if you're going to go one way or the other, you tend to overexpose. But I don't think that's what she's done here. But what I love about it is you put all the different window frames, and each one has got like a different section of what's outside. So like that mountain, I'm assuming it's like a mountain.
Yeah.
Just
cool.
Right, and that bush is kind of like middle left. Top left and right, you've got like the bits of branches and the fields bottom. It's almost like they all look completely separate from each other.
So Rebecca says that the mountain in the background is Snowdon, which is cool to know. And she says it works so well across the board, this film, and to definitely try it in a street setting if you get a chance to. I think we often see XP2 used for like street photography because it's got quite a nice like contrast to it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting seeing it in a more like domestic setting with a bit of landscape in it as well. Cool. Nice.
I was really close to that. And there you go. The next video that we've got coming out is me in Wales.
Oh, cool.
And I was really close to Snowdon, so maybe I was near that house and didn't even know.
You have to go and find it.
I love that mountain in that photo.
So the next one we have is by Erin, and this photo is titled 1989 and was taken on, can you guess?
Hang on, it's loading. That gold?
Nope.
Colour Plus?
No.
Ultramax?
No.
Usually superior.
No, it's Portra 400.
Oh, okay.
Which, yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that straight away. Either. It's not that. It's normally a bit more pastely with Portra.
Yeah. I mean, it reminded me of all the maps with the bluey purple colour going on. Did it say where this photo was taken? Was it taken in Barcelona?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a place called Macba, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so I picked this photo because
You're a skater, dude.
I like to skateboard. This place, Barcelona is probably the paradise of places to go skating.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the best places in the world to go skating. It's just so to me, I look at this photo and it takes me back to when I've been to Barcelona.
Yeah.
So for me, that's, even though it's not my photo, it's powerful enough to put me in a position of being there. You know what I mean? I know I've been to that spot, and yeah, so it's just a cool photo. Like if I was in that photo, I would print that off and I'll put it on my wall.
Yeah.
I'm proud to be in that photo. But for me, I would still buy this as a print because I'm like, that reminds me of the time that I lived. So yeah, it's just an all-round good photo. All the thirds, it works really well.
Yeah, I love how the man in the back is like lined up perfectly with the mural, which is a Keith Haring mural, which is cool.
Yeah, yeah. I like that it's like a skateboarding picture, but there's no actual skateboarding happening. Like there's someone who's not on their board. There's someone who is just standing there looking at his phone.
Yeah.
So it's almost like there's an element of like mundanity to it. Really interesting way.
I see. If I would consider cropping that photo. If is that a thing I'm allowed to say? But I might crop that photo like that. But I'm so glad it hasn't been cropped because now I've been looking at it for a while. It's just
it's got nice like leading lines in it as well.
Yeah, and then it's also, you get lost in it, right? Because like even if you're not looking at the skateboarding or me, it's reminding me of where it is. Even if you didn't know any of that stuff, the artwork on the wall is just cool. Like, you can look at it for ages. So yeah, it's got everything.
I reckon, you know, like the Pythagoras thing where you draw boxes and then you can draw a circle, like a concentric circle thing. I reckon if you put that over that image, starting at that skateboard at the bottom, and as it goes round, it would kind of encompass those things, which is why it's like quite a pleasing image, although everything seems to be slightly off-centre with it all together. It structures it really nicely.
Yeah, it works well.
There's a lot more. So there you go, Emma. There's some editing.
Yeah, I'm just like, how am I going to do that?
Yeah.
Erin says, shoot this film where and when you can. It's the best about, and a lot of people do say that about Portra 400. So it's cool.
Nice.
Well, Erin, so now we'll go on to the Lucky Dip winner. Wow. So this one's by John DeWurst.
Awesome photo.
This is a really cool one.
Yeah, really cool. To be fair, when we saw, because I think they submitted 2 photos.
Yeah, they submitted a few.
But this one's definitely my favourite too. Purely for the fact that the light's coming off the guitar like that. So.
Yeah, they've captured a lot of atmosphere in that image.
Yeah, it's cool. It's hard to shoot like gigs on film, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you always take a bit of a gamble.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's shot with like flash or.
So this was taken on Portra 800 at a concert with no flash. So they did this as a test to compare it with Cine Still 800T, and they thought the Portra compared very well. Because a lot of people, when they shoot 800T, like you either love it or you hate it. I sort of find like some people really don't like the red halations.
Yeah.
So, if you don't, then Portra 800 is like a really good alternative.
It's a really cool photo. I can't really, like, I always look at it and think, like, I'm looking at it now and I keep forgetting it's taken on film. You know what I mean? It's got a lovely grain to it, but I would not be able to take
Yeah, even at 800, you're not going to get a super fast like jet speed or anything. So yeah, it's cool.
Do you think the Innovatorus kind of looks like a metal version of Dwight Schrute?
Yeah.
It's a really cool one.
Yeah, really nice.
Right, so time for the grand winner. So this was chosen by you guys and is another entry from Miles, which I assume was on the same trip in Italy.
Yeah. Well, we're assuming that as well. We didn't know that. We didn't know they were both from Miles.
This seems to be jet setting around the world quite a lot. Just from Instagram stalking.
Yeah. I love this photo. I think I originally picked it out and said this is the one I want to put forward. And
well, we were looking at this one and this other one, and this one was like we weren't too sure initially.
Well, I was pretty sure, and then I kind of almost had to sell it to you, but then I told you about the thing that I saw.
Well, yeah, it was just, it's the longer you look at the image, the more you realise like what's going on within it. So like it's everything's in focus, so it's obviously shot quite like a small aperture or whatever. So the colours are lovely. I assume it's the same. I assume it's colour plus as well. Yeah. And you've just got all these different layers to it. So from like the stuff on the left, and then it kind of moves across the image as you go along. And the colour of the blue, kind of the fact that there's not a lot going on in that top left-hand side of the image, allows it a bit of room to breathe because it's all quite busy at the front. But then it was the fact that we didn't spot initially that there's a person on the right-hand side of the image.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that either.
Yeah, that was almost like the selling point for us in terms of runner up to winner.
Yeah.
Because exactly like Luke said, you've got the sign on the left, which you're kind of initially drawn to. It's got all the primary colours in it, really showing off like the colour plus side of it. And then
colours are amazing.
Yeah, the person in it for me I look at that photo and go, what a cool thing to do. Like that's his job, that's like his life. He drives that van, sets up a fruit stand, and that's where he makes a living. So to me, the image is not only technically a great image, but it tells an awesome story. And to have for those things, I think that's what makes it great.
I love how you can see like through the van to the trees behind it as well. Like there's just so much in the image the more you look.
It opens my mind up to think that there's that road going as well, which I can only assume follows the mountain. It's just a great photo.
Yeah, I think it's like the longer you look at it, the more you're like, cool, yeah.
And even to the point where it makes me think, like, was this photo, like, did they just did Miles just pull over and take it, or did they wait to? That person sitting there thinking, like, do you know what I mean? There's so much going on in the photo, and then all the colour. Like, I keep looking at the photo, finding new things, which.
Yeah, it almost looks like a still from a movie or something. There's just so much atmosphere in it. So. Miles says, this photo was taken of a street vendor selling the legendary Sorrento lemons on the side of a coastal road on the Amalfi Coast. I had to get out and grab some film photos of it, and this one was my favourite. I like how the red of the sign pops out and the man is sitting crouched over on the right-hand side, taking a little break from the sun. So, yeah, it's a really cool one. Well done to Miles and to everyone who's entered this month's competition. Yay.
That's why Miles.
Well, thank you so much, guys. It's been great to have you on and to hear a little update about Front. I'm sure I'll keep pestering you for more updates, but hopefully it's not long to go now.
You'll have to cut back in because I told you to talk for too long about it.
Yeah.
It's so much easier just to show someone that is, explain what it is, but it's heavy. But yeah, thanks so much for having us on. Thank you to all the photographers that submitted photos this month. It wasn't an easy job to pick, so yeah, that's a good thing, I think. But yeah, nice one.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on, and hopefully we can rearrange for you guys to come down in real life soon.
Yeah, I want to. It's the third time I've missed you. photography show, the Analogue Spotlight, and then
we'll be at the photography show this year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Come and say hello, steal some stickers or whatever.
Thanks so much, guys. Hopefully see you soon. Bye.